Hey guys, stay tuned to the end of the episode where I'm going to read one of the iTunes reviews for Fascination Street podcast. If you've left one, it might be yours, and if you haven't, do it, and maybe it will be in the future. I believe that everybody has a story, and I'm fascinated to hear them. So come with me as we take a walk down Fascination Street. Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is with actor Roman Mitichyan. In this episode, we talk about Roman growing up in Armenia, getting into martial arts, and becoming a national champion back in Armenia in his particular segment of martial arts. And then we talk about the events that led him to come to America and win a bronze for the U.S., and then get into acting. Roman has been in some of the most iconic television shows and some of the biggest box office films of the last 10 years, and he's showing no signs of slowing down. He's in the upcoming new Apple TV show, The Morning Show, with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. He's in the Rogue Warfare trilogy that's coming out soon. He's in 10 Minutes Gone with Bruce Willis and Michael Chiklis. He's also in the upcoming Bruce Willis movie Trauma Center. And he just wrapped on the series finale of Homeland. Roman was a lot of fun to talk to, and you guys are really going to dig this episode. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of heart. So enjoy, folks. This is my conversation with Roman Mitichyan.
Yeah, talk to me, yeah.
Welcome to Fascination Street Podcast, Roman Mitichyan. How you doing today?
Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The honor is all mine. So I know that you're busy, and I appreciate you making the time to squeeze this in. So without further ado, let's just get into it, all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Roman, usually I like to ask guests where they come from. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in country called Armenia. That was it's a Republic of Armenia. It was one of the Soviet Unions, which we part from Soviets in 1991. There was 15 republics, so Armenia was one of them. And it's a first Christian nation country in Eastern Europe, East Asia, and we're in that region.
Over by Georgia?
Yes, Republic of Georgia. That's our neighbor.
Oh, okay.
I was born in Armenia, a city called Vanazor.
How long were you there?
Well, I was there around until 16, almost 17 years old, but I was back and forth to Russia because of my fighting background. I started judo and Sambo, which is a Russian martial art, age of 6. So
6?
I was competing back and forth. Yeah.
Wow.
That's how it works.
What led you there? What led you into martial arts?
My dad, also, our geography, we are surrounded by these few countries. We have political issues. And I think every boy born in Armenian families, it's a must-take martial arts, self-defense, so on and so forth. One of the neighbors is Turkey, which we have, history of horrible history, the genocide in 1915. And until now, they don't even fucking recognize. You want me to say the F word, this is the time I'm going to say it. So the Turkish bloody government is still denying. And as of today, as we speak, I don't want to be political, and now they're doing the same thing to the Syrians and Kurds. Horrible, horrible, it repeats itself. This is bullshit, complete bullshit.
Wow.
The world is not doing anything about it.
Well, do you still have family back there?
I do. I go there every year, and it's a beautiful country. I think of Switzerland, 4 seasons. We have beautiful mountains and one of the best food in the world, I would say. If you're familiar with Georgian food, I would say Georgian food is one of the best in the world as well. It's a very rich cuisine. Lots of meat. If you're vegetarian, don't go to Armenia. So that's my suggestion. Don't. You'll starve to death.
For those listening who might not be familiar with, Armenian public figures, probably the most famous Armenian family in America. That's right, the Kardashians. And I think the biggest band, the biggest
System
Armenian
of a Down.
band, System of a Down. That's right.
Yeah, that's my friends, actually. Serge Tankian, a very dear friend of mine.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, love those guys.
So I guess you kind of left Armenia around 16 or so. And where did you go?
I went to Moscow. So I was just chasing my dream in martial arts, trying to be in bigger podiums and tournaments, European championships. And after I became an Armenian national champion in Sambo, so I had to move. I went to Moscow and I competed a few international tournaments in Warsaw and Czech Republic. You know, it's just all over one of those, you know. And then judo. I'll give you a brief example. When I came to U.S. in 97, I kind of jumped the border just like any other, you know, immigrant. And then you're chasing your dream. I want to be in Hollywood. In 1999, I got deported back to Russia because the judge, I remember, so we're talking about freedom and we're talking about justice. So it's bullshit. So my judge was Chinese. So I go in, I'm like, Mr. Fong, you know, you're Chinese, you're deporting me. He goes, get him out of my court. You know, he got really upset. But that was the law, and, you know, we followed every procedure. Went back to Russia, and in about a year, I gathered all my paperwork for martial arts, and I want to represent U.S. team. In 2000, they gave me a green card, you know, U.S. Embassy in Moscow. And this is like very short version. I'm just telling you what happened. Sure. And then I arrived to U.S. In 2002, I competed for U.S. team in Sambo World Championship in Panama, Panama, in Central America. And I brought bronze medal for U.S. So they kind of expedite my citizenship. In 2004, I became U.S. citizen. And, you know, life changed a little bit. And then just next thing, you're just chasing your dream in Hollywood and martial arts and MMA and UFC, and then numbers goes on, but I'm ready. Go ahead. You know, so life is good.
So you came to America. Finally, you got to stay here, and that sounds like it was very stressful and a lot of work to get here. Why did you want to come to America so badly?
Well, first of all, America is still the best country in the world, not because we live here and we eat the bread and they are providing you with all the opportunities. So I personally love U.S. and every single person who lives in U.S. and they're always talking about how U.S. is this, how U.S. is that. I have one word for those fuckers. You don't like it, get the fuck out. Simple as that. Yeah. And for me, I don't know where is best, where is good. Sometimes you're physically here. Maybe my soul is back in Armenia. I don't know. My mind is there because my childhood was there. So I go there every year. But as far as with opportunities and life and everything else, you know, I think I kind of accumulated over here in U.S. and I love it. I love Los Angeles, and I always wanted to be in, you know, in films. And I said, might as well. You want to be in films, why don't you go to Hollywood? So I was talking to myself pretty much. And I brought myself to Hollywood and I came. And then I grind. And next thing, I got fortunate to work with a lot of movie stars and they're just regular humans.
Regular humans? Get out of here. The stars, they're just like us.
They're just like us.
So how did you get into acting? You're doing martial arts and you're doing Sambo.
Yep.
So how does that translate into acting? How did your acting start?
So basically when I was in Moscow, also I went to theater because I always loved doing, you know, stage work or movies, or that was my passion. Growing up watching Rambo and Die Hards and, you know, you name it, right? So I did a little bit of theater, nothing crazy. But I was more into my martial arts. So when I came over here, I started training in North Hollywood with my coach, Hayastan MMA, one of the best clubs in United States, I would say in the world. We have a lot of UFC fighters. really good UFC fighters came out from that club, like Caro the Hit Parisian, Manny Gambuyan, Sako, and, you know, a bunch of guys. Sevak Magakian, Karan Darabedi. I can go on. I forget some of these guys, you know. And my coach, Gokor Chivichin, he supported me the day I walked in. And he said, Roman, I love everything you're doing. It's really great, you know, judo and everything else. You should try MMA. Maybe, you know, there's an opportunity. I said, okay, great. So we got in the ring. Next thing, I got casted in Ultimate Fighter 6. It was with Team Hughes and Team Sarah. And that was my ticket to UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship. And Dana White kind of welcomed me and kind of, you know, opened. But before that, of course, I took a lot of MMA fights. You can't just be like, oh, I want to fight in UFC. And they're like, okay, welcome. So that never happens.
Right.
So to answer your question, the fighting kind of became like, hey, there's an action role. Roman, you want to do stunts? So I said, sure. You know, stunts as what? I'm not crashing cars. I'm not jumping off the building. Don't call me. I'm not doing it. Because, yeah, you should be just nuts. I got a lot of good stuntman friends. I think they're nuts. They're crazy. But I love them dearly, friends, and it's one of these things. My stunts are fight, squeeze, shoot, you know, ground and pound. So I get offered to do these fight roles. And next thing, you know, the director goes, hey, you know, you kind of extend your role. I guess they liked it. I don't know. I said, you know, I think this is it. I'm going to pursue. I have a little bit very perfectionist. Like I'm a perfectionist in things I do in my life, not to brag, but if I'm going to do something, I want to do the best. Sometimes I will hurt myself, but I'm doing the best. I have to do the best. So I went in and took some acting classes it's like you don't train, you don't fight, you don't win. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to go and fight and beat someone. No, you have to train. Same thing with acting. So I took a lot of acting classes. Very grateful. One thing led another one. Stunts became acting and more acting and more acting. Now just going towards more producing and hopefully prepping something to direct myself. So that's what I'm doing.
Nice. Well, I think that your strive to be the best at whatever you're doing, I think that speaks to how you were able to, you know, rise in those ranks with Sambo and judo and, you know, eventually be national champion in Armenia and, you know, take a bronze for America. I think that's that work ethic. It knows no boundaries. It doesn't just stay in your martial arts arena. It probably applies to most, if not all, aspects of your life. So I think that's a great aspect.
Absolutely. I think, and also martial arts like Sambo or judo, which I really love. Judo is like Japanese art, translates to gentle art. Judo really helped in my MMA career. And also I took 2008 and 9, you know, U.S. Nationals. I won that California championship. So those really, you know, pushed me to the next level, what I do. And I remember when I came to the States, I didn't speak English. I'm still working on it, you know, forgive me. But I'm doing my best. And even these acting roles, I have friends that are like, you know, hey, you are playing always the bad guys. I said, look, it's called Hollywood. It's called typecasting. So, but I can pull off any other ethnicity of us, you know, Mexican cartels and Russian mobsters and Armenian mobs. And you go on. Everything is just like, oh, call Roman. That's cool. And let's bring him in. Let's hire him. And then we'll kill him in the end. So now I'm working in Hollywood not to get killed anymore, because they killed me, I don't know, more than 100 times. So I should get nominated for the best dying scene.
For the most,
you know?
At least.
At the most, yeah. I mean, I need an Oscar. How great death is that, you know? Who is that actor? I mean, he's one of these, like, you see him in every movie, but they kill him. Poor guy. You know?
That's fantastic.
I love it. I love it. You know, people ask me, you like being, you know, typecast? I said, do you like to be unemployed? No? Okay, so go knock yourself out. So it's all good.
Yeah, I'd rather be typecast as a bad guy than typecast as an unemployed guy.
Well, here's the deal. You know, 1% of actors in Hollywood really work these days. Let's face it. Everybody comes to Hollywood to make it. which is great. I wish every single, hardworking person best of luck to them. But it's very limited. So you can't be like, oh, that's a small role, that's a big role. You take them all. You take them all as long as you think that's good for you and good for your spirit, good for your life. You take care of your family. That's all that matters. And you never know where it goes. I worked on Argo. It was a small piece. But next thing you hear, oh, it won an Oscar. Guess what? I'm a cast member of Oscar-winning picture. Is that good on my resume? Hell yeah, it's good on my resume. Did I work with Ben Affleck? Yes, fantastic guy, great director. So these things really matter. So you can't say it's big or small or, oh, what is it? You're not in that title of saying, what is it? I'm not there yet. I'm not Robert De Niro. But, one day.
Well, I think that's a great point. I was talking to Ron and Clint Howard's father, Rance, who was an actor for about 60 years.
Sure.
And he was saying that somebody's going to make that movie. Somebody's going to be in that role. Why not you?
That's exactly right. You need to be humble, and I think appreciate every person who gives you a shot or believes in you, because Hollywood scene, I don't know how much you're familiar with, but it's a lot of work. People put so much time, and there's so much pressure, and producers and directors and so many studios, people making decisions. It's a clusterfuck. So when you get that, you just know you're one of the blessed ones and say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you very much. And do your best and get the fuck out. That's it. That simple as that,
Yeah, don't let the rest of the people be waiting on you. Do your thing, do it right, and then move on.
Never. Always be on time. Always stay behind the cameras if they're not using you. When they yell Roman, you're there. Just like 6 a.m. call. Boom, you're there. It has to be.
Nice.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors. Let's get back into it.
Now, coming from a martial arts background and then stepping into what I would assume is some martial arts fighting on screen, how difficult was it to not hit your actor?
I love your question, because I have a lot of interviews. No one really asked this, because this is a very important question, and thank you for that. And I hope a lot of people can listen to this and learn from it. So coming from a fighting background, like I have friends, there were, Frank Trick is a great friend of mine. He's one of the great stuntmen and also is pursuing acting. So few guys, they transition from real fighting to fighting on screen, it becomes a stunt. It's totally different. A lot of fighters are like, oh, I can fight. No, you can't. It's different. It's a lot of energy. It's different stuff, but you need to learn. So there's the stage fighting. When people say go learn that, I really mean it. You can be you can be the champion, UFC champion, world champion. I don't care. Go take some stage combat, because camera movement, you need to know the camera angles. Also, guess what? I worked on NCISLA more than, 20 or 30 episodes, thanks to Troy Brown, who is a really great friend of mine. He's a second unit director, stunt coordinator. Love the guy. I owe my career to this guy. He's one of these guys. And they would trust me. Hey, you're gonna torture LL Cool J or one of these guys. There's a scene. You're gonna hit him. These things. Damn, what does that mean? It means they trust you. They trust your distance. Because you know what happens if you hit the actor, especially the number one or the main actor, or you're working with Tom Hanks. Guess what? By accident you hit him. You know what happens? It's aisle or window. You're going home. That's what happens. So it's a lot of pressure than just being beat up or getting shot in the movie. I'll take those. So there's a lot of fighters transition into a movie as like, oh, I can act. Oh, I can do. No, I think you guys should go. It's a plus, because you're a fighter. You're tough. You can get beat up. You can, whatever that is. That's great. My hat's off. But go learn stage combat. Go learn the camera angles. Go learn how to move your body and your legs. Is totally different than real fighting. Because real fighting, you're going for a kill. Here, when camera rolls, you're not going for a kill. You're just putting this fake energy up to make everybody believe. Of course, you believe who you are, and do your performance, but don't hurt anyone and don't get hurt. This is the number one rule in Hollywood. Don't get hurt. Don't hurt people.
I like that rule.
Yep.
So some of your film credits, I mean, you have a very impressive resume, but you've been in some of the biggest movies of, the last 10 years. You previously mentioned being in Argo and working with Ben Affleck.
Yep.
As a director, and I guess as an actor. And also you were in, John Wick.
Yep.
With the great Keanu. And
yep.
Yeah, and I mean, you've been in some of the greatest movies. Vice, I mean, that was nominated. Yep. I'm pretty sure it won some. So how does it feel to know that you are, good enough to keep being in these and to keep being accepted because you're good at what you do? Like, what is that feeling? I know that you didn't grow up knowing that was going to happen. So when it finally did happen, how does that make you feel?
I think very important, one of those things, when these opportunities rise, you go audition or you go for casting, or casting director will like you and the director won't like you. There has been TV shows I read for like 12 times, but I never got hired. And finally I said to the casting director, I said, are they going to hire me or not? Because, Roman, we like what you do. It's just every episode is different director. I said, well, am I wasting your time or are you wasting my time? She starts laughing, But I still never got that, TV show. It was the American, in New York. But same casting director brought me in for some other picture or something, and I got the job. What I'm trying to say, these kind of things, Hollywood is very small, so you work with the same directors, almost with the same producers, like The Promise, or, you fly, they take you all first class, and it's so blessing, right? So you get these kind of roles. They take you to Europe. You shoot in Spain, Portugal, Malta with Christian Bale, Oscar Isaac, and one of the Oscar-winning director like Terry George, working with them. I think these things are very, very important. Like I said, be humble, be respectful, and be grateful. People, they kind of fell into this thing, and they all of a sudden, some of these major stars like Keanu Reeves is a very super, super nice guy. And I think he's a great human being. Love the guy. I worked with him, spoke to him, and he's very unique. But some guys are not even there, and they act like you can't even talk to them. So this what kills their career, okay? Don't act like you're a nice guy. If you're a nice guy, just be you. But if you're a douchebag trying to act nice guy so you can make it, do me a favor. It's going to catch you. I promise you it will catch you. One small role, next thing you see, no one can really talk to them because they think they're so cool. Like, fuck off, be cool. Like some of the directors, I'm not going to even mention their names. If I see them in a bar and they talk to someone, like the way they speak to their employees in a set, I'll knock them out. What is he going to do? Fire me in the bar? Yeah? Is that what's going to happen? Fuck him. What I'm saying is, if you're a nice person, you're a nice person. If you're a douchebag, don't try to act like, you're so nice. It's going to come out. Believe me, it will come out. I don't know. I mean, be grateful. I think the rule number one, be grateful. Don't take anything for granted. Really, really, really. I really mean it. When I got the job for John Wick 3. I was honestly grateful and I was like, thank you, God. Thank you. But of course, people like producers, Jeff Waxman, he's a good guy, great friend. He's one of the top producers in Hollywood. Also, I work with him on Vice. So I spoke to him. I go, hey, man, what you doing next? He goes, I'm doing John Wick 3. I said, fuck, great. You got to hire me. He goes, well, I'll talk to the director. I said, well, you don't talk to him. You tell him to hire me. He goes, okay, cool. I like that. He goes, here's my emails. Send me your stuff. I think it's a relationship. It comes down to relationship, whether they're going to like you or not. And also, Chad Stahelski is a great guy, and he knew me before from martial arts world. So when I got there, I go, Chad, thank you so much for hiring me, giving me this opportunity. He goes, I didn't have choice. Jeff was telling me so much, like, are you going to hire this guy? Do you have a role for him? I said, okay, I do now. So these kind of things really help, It's relationships. It is relationships.
I love that. I love that we were talking about, some people in Hollywood are douchebags and they pretend like they're not douchebags. And so unrelated to that, I see that you worked with Bruce Willis a couple of times.
Yes, I did.
So I know that you said you grew up watching, like Die Hard and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think he's a star. He's a great actor. I mean,
so how exciting was it to finally work with him once, you grew up watching him and then you get to work with him?
So first job I did, it was a movie called Extraction. So when I got the part, I was in a set. He was super nice. The producers called me over and said, "Hey, this is Roman Mitichyan." I said, "Well, nice to meet you, sir. Very big fan of you." He goes, "All right, hi, how you doing? I'm Bruce Willis." I said, "Yeah, I know." So it's great. It's an honor to be here. He goes, "Okay." And the producer goes, "Oh, he's also a UFC fighter, former MMA guy." He goes, "Oh, cool. Where do you live?" I said, "Well, I live in LA." He goes, "Oh, me too." And then we start having conversation. So, that's Bruce Willis. And that's my first job with him. And then I got the second one, again with Bruce Willis. And the role, it's called 10 Minutes Gone. It's still in theaters. It's Michael Chiklis, Bruce Willis, action thriller. And then I got the call again. The producer goes, "Roman, I have another role, but it's with Bruce Willis again." So in my mind, I said, "Do you like the way I'm handling the guy, or you just like what I'm doing?" He goes, "Both." I said, "Okay, thank you." And we love it. We'll be there. When I say handling, meaning if there's a good relationship between me and him, it's not like we're buddies. I'm not going to say that. He may see me tomorrow and not even know me.
Right.
Unless I say, "Hey, we just worked in Puerto Rico together. We were in San Juan and we worked together for a couple of days." And I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I remember that." But overall, I can only say he was okay. He was cool. He was professional. He came in. He did his thing. And for me to work with Bruce Willis, that's the name. It's good for my reel. And again, that's an opportunity to work with a star.
Well, to work with him once is great for your resume, but to work with him, 3 times or more, that speaks a lot to your professionalism and your ability to handle, any given situation, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, situation comes in a set, like, you got to really handle it. I mean, sometimes the camera, cut, and then you're in the middle of something, or, we're doing a scene and then the light goes, things like this. You have to be prepared and just, I think, in a way, be strong, keep your grounds, and do your best. Also working with directors. I mean, director Matt, his name is Matt Iskandari, the last picture we did. It's called Trauma Center. It's coming out. He was super nice and very calm, and we spoke, he came to my trailer. We sat down, went over the scene with Bruce Willis, and I said, "Okay, look, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do." He goes, "Roman, just you're working with him, and he's done many, many films. There's nothing I'm going to really tell him to do." But
right.
He was super nice, He was really cool. I can't say anything bad because, he was professional.
There's enough bad stories about everybody out there. I'm not looking for any bad stories. I just think it's really cool that you've been able to work with him multiple times. And
Yep.
I don't feel like a lot of people can say that. So hats off. Well done.
Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to navigate to Sylvester Stallone, because me watching Rambo or Rocky, next thing I worked on Escape Plan 2 with Dave Bautista and Sylvester Stallone. That's a dream come true. That's for me as an actor, as an artist, and having an opportunity in the United States, in Hollywood, working with this kind of stars. So I'm grateful. That's all I'm going to say.
Now, I do want to talk about some of the other things that you have coming out. I think here in a couple of weeks, you have the morning show.
Yep.
I think that's one of Apple's TV shows in their foray into the entertainment biz. I'm sure that people ask you this all the time, but...
Go ahead, shoot me. Tell me.
How is Jennifer Aniston?
Good. Good. Not because I work with her or I'm scared of saying anything. She was good. No, she was cool. She liked me. Let's start from that. Okay. So she came, she introduced herself. I'm working with her, and I'm playing a character called Sam Rudo. And she was okay. She was great. And she came in and we worked. And then Reese Witherspoon, Steve Carell, I think wonderful cast. And then you have one of the greatest directors on this TV show. They just come and do it. And Mimi Leader, she gave me the shot. And also like, hey, this is cool. Of course, very good friend of mine who brought me in to be part of this. And he was the big part of pushing myself there, not dropping names. Charlie Clogwell, who said, Roman is great. You have to look at his stuff and this and that. And I think Jennifer will like it too. And sure enough, there was a few guys lined for the job and I ended up getting it.
Nice.
Again, this is an opportunity. We did about, I don't know how many episodes. I can't really say exactly how many, but hopefully we will be back early next year and shoot some more.
That was going to be my next question, so I guess that means you didn't die. All right.
No.
Finally, a role where you don't die.
No, I did not die. I survived on this one, and it's a reoccurring death. A few films I haven't died, so it's okay. Unless they do the zombie sequels, hey, I can come back on all of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of zombies, did you play a zombie on?
I did. Fear of the Walking
Dead.
Yeah.
Yep. How much time did it take to get into that makeup?
Too much. Way too much. It's way too much. It's too much. 5 a.m. in on the chair, hour and a half, 2 hour makeup and prosthetics. Not an easy job, I would say. So, but again, you're there to do the job. You're there to perform, learn how to be zombie, whatever that means. I guess I pulled it out. So, I hated it. Okay, I hated it. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not gonna lie. I don't lie. I'm not gonna lie so people can like me. It's not gonna happen. Whether you like me or you hate me. So that's what's gonna happen. Was I grateful for the opportunity to work on it? Yes.
Very cool.
But it was not easy, and especially when they put that contact in your eyes and you gotta really look like a zombie. It's all like your eyes are dilated. Who likes that? It's fucking annoying. I hated it. Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors. Let's get back into it.
Is there any chance that you're going to be in John Wick 4?
Good question. So, working on it.
Nice.
I hope so. Working.
Do I need to make a phone call?
Please do, if you know. No, I know Chad, and we're talking back and forth. But just remember, these kind of movies, when they're really successful, and you're a director like Chad Stahelski, imagine how many people want something from this guy. And I get it. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sure a lot, yeah.
It's overwhelming. I get it. I totally get it. But the John Wick 3 was all Russian gypsies, and hey, a small or big part. We had like 3 scenes. A couple of them are cut. One made it with Keanu Reeves, and I'm again grateful. I had other scenes, didn't make in a film. So what are you going to do? Hey, that's movie business. That's why I always tell my friends, actors, stuntmen, whoever they are, like that. When you do a movie, don't brag about it. Don't tell them, hey, you should go watch me in this movie. Unless you're the supporting actor, there's no way they're going to cut you out. So if you were there for a week and you had 2-3 scenes, hopefully it makes it in the movie, especially it's a big film. You never know. That's why you should go Thursday, whatever, or Friday when it opens, watch the movie by yourself, see if you're in it, then make that big announcement, I'm part of this movie. Other than that, shut up, wait, because a lot of people will be so disappointed when they go see, like, oh, you said you're in this movie? Oh, yeah, I was behind the tank. Like, really? Come on, dude. So here's, I'm going to tell you something very funny. So years and years ago, I did some extra work. Again, I did like 3 months. I hated it. It was good experience, but, sometimes some of these people get treated really badly, and I didn't like that. Because me coming from martial arts background, in my vocabulary, it's all about respect. I say hello. I have respect for you. You have respect for me. But in this business, forget about it. It's different. So for me, doing this extra work, for probably my first or second, I was so excited. There was a movie called Time Machine with Guy Pearce, right? So one of these days, and I was in the library scene, and I catch my eye, I see the camera, and I'm an extra. I'm just an extra walking like in front of the camera. I said, yeah, I think I made it in a movie. Just an extra, right? Just walking by. Action. And the background is walking. Okay. So I came home. So we waited, I don't know, a year later or something. The movie's coming out. I took about at least 20 people to theater, all my friends and family. So they're waiting and everybody's bragging about Roman is in Guy Pearce movie. It's called Time Machine. But since they talk so much, I'm just embarrassed saying, guys, I may not even be in it. And or if you see me, I'm just going to walk by and just like 2 seconds. That's it. So we're sitting in the theater. Everybody's like, yeah, he's going to be there. He's going to be there. Oh, look. You know, anyway, camera rolls. The movie is on. Here Roman comes. Tick, tick, tick. He's out. Like, yeah, Roman, that's you. I said, yeah, that is me. He goes, then what do you have next? What do you have next? I go, that's it. He goes, that's it? Everybody's like, what? That's it? I go, yeah. You like the movie, guys, or not? So I'm trying to pull something up. He goes, what an idiot you are. You brought all these 20 people to see you. You just walked by the camera? What the fuck is wrong with you? Next time you get a bigger role, you call us. And that was the motivation. But at the same time, I said, you know what, guys, I'm trying. So please give me a break. That was years ago. I think it was 2002, if I'm not mistaken. It was a long time ago. But that was motivation for me. It's like, okay, next time don't call your friend if you're an extra. Or if you have one line, don't call your friend. So it's cool. It's good memories, but I loved it. We laughed so much. Everybody's picking on me. Until today, they're picking on me. Roman, remember your big break? I said, yeah, I do. I remember that. So
that's hilarious.
Fun. Life is good, you know.
Tell me about Rogue Warfare.
So the director, Mike Gunter, again, really cool guy, very smart, I would say. Like most of these movies he writes, and I think he did, what was the movie, The Prince or something? He worked with Bruce Willis. He wrote it and he directed. So, and then he did this trilogy, which is World Warfare. And I get the call from the producers. He goes, Roman, you available? Mike really wants you to play this role. And it's a, kind of evil terrorist, right? If you're in the other world, then you're a terrorist. So however you want to explain, the scripts are good, right? So I said, yeah, sure. Can I read it? So he goes, yeah, I'll send it to you. So we read it. It's nice. It's a nice part, small. I said, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. And I went in. I did it. Loved working with Mike Gunter, and I think he pulled it off. It was all three back-to-back. He shot them all. We shot everything in Blue Cloud Ranch, somewhere in California, in LA. Good experience. Again, I don't know what to say. It's good. It was good to work with Mike Gunter.
So they shot all three movies back-to-back?
Yeah, he did it back-to-back.
Wow.
I mean, it's a very hard job. What I'm saying is it was a lot of work for him.
Yeah,
but
I bet.
He's trying.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've got the sets and the people and the funding, you might as well knock them all out instead of come back.
The guy's nice, people want to work with you when you're nice and you know what you're doing. But sometimes you have to understand you can be nice, but you don't know what the fuck you're doing. People don't want to work with you. You could be the nice guy, but you don't know what you're doing. I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry. It doesn't cut. So, but this guy is very knowledgeable. That's why he did back-to-back, and I think it's a success, and I hope it is. I wish him all the best with World Warfare, and he's doing a bunch of other stuff.
Very cool. And I think Rogue Warfare comes out soon, if it's not already out, right?
Yeah, somewhere. I don't even keep a track, dude, honestly. I'm just doing the job, and if something comes out, I get the call sometime, but I'd rather be busy working and shooting. I just finished Homeland, the last season, last episode, and I was part of that last big last day of the day. Everybody was rapping. It was kind of sad in a way. That show was going for 8 years. So imagine some people worked from season 1 together. It becomes a relationship. When you think about it, When you work with somebody 8 years, almost every other day you see him, and next thing you guys going to split. You may meet somewhere else, you may not. So it's kind of heartbreaking. I saw some of the people were hugging each other. It's like, oh, yeah, it's the last day. And they went to Morocco. They shot in Germany and all that. So I observed from the side. I'm like, life is interesting, you know. There's beginning, there's an end. Nothing stays forever. I guess that's life. But it was fun, you know.
Indeed. Well, so did that already come out, the finale?
Oh, no. I just wrapped. Friday was my last day. I was on it for a week. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Another iconic TV show. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
I want to talk about your first feature, your teen horror thriller. Tell me about that.
Oh, the one I want to direct?
Yeah, the one that you're going to bring Serge on board.
Well, I can't give out much, but I'll tell you a few bullet points in there so people can really relate to it. It's about 4 girls. They all come from different families, and they're all different nationalities. The only thing is it keeps them together, and they became friends because of their school. You know, they go to school together, they become friends. But everybody has their own cultures and everything else. And they decided to take the road trip, which one girl survives. The sad part is my message about this world is never, ever trust anyone. The world is not a safe place. Second of all, don't run off your kids from your homes. Sometimes parents get overwhelmed. You're 18, you're 20, get out of my house, get a job, move out. Oh, I need my life, So don't do that to your kids. Now, who am I to suggest? Who am I to tell you anyway? But this is my view. This is my observation. So kids are just flowers. You know, if you don't give them water, they're never going to bloom. So if you just, cut their legs early days, some of them, they go and become drug addicts. Who knows? Things happen. Some good, some bad. So my message is just hold on to them because you brought them to this world. If they're ready to move out, yeah, that's okay. But if they're not ready, don't push them. And I know there's families, they do that, and I've seen it. This is kind of based on true story, what I'm doing. And other girl comes from cultural views of, if you're a girl, you can't do that, you can't go there, you can't, So don't even suppress your kids. Let them be. Sometimes you need to let it go because it's a different century. My moms and dad, they lived in 60s and 70s. We're in 2000s. Things change. So we have to look at things differently with their view, their point of view, where they feel, how they feel. Teenagers. It's an important message. I think this movie will bring a lot of attention to families, teenagers, parents, and they will appreciate something. There's a valuable things. People come together, and a friendship as well, of course. And then I have the evil guys, of course, and they associate with because they're just gullible. These girls are just kids, They just fall into trap. Boom, one girl barely survives. And I'm not making everybody look bad, meaning if you're white, Mexican, Armenian, black. No. My message is this. The world is not safe, no matter what color you are. The good thing is everyone has good and bad, no matter what nationality you are. I think when you cut your hand, you bleed the same way I do. So blood has no color. Blood is red. And we get confused. We get so trapped in this politics and media without knowing what their life is, what they're going through. Every day they get up, they have food. I think in America, we're a little bit spoiled. When we go to different countries, I appreciate a lot of things what we have. But at the same time, we have to look at the other stuff and say, you know what? We're blessed. We are blessed. So my message is blood is same color. It's blood. It's only red. It's not white. It's not black. And it's not Mexican. Okay? So that's my message.
I love that message. Is there a name for this movie, this film?
So far, I called it One Way because Well, usually you do round trip tickets, right? When you fly.
Yeah.
But this one is just one way.
Oh, nice.
And
Oof.
for now.
I think you should call it Blood is Red.
Blood is red. Yeah, that could be. Hey,
I like
if you see that, then you got to get a credit for that. Blood is red. Yeah.
That's hilarious. So how is that coming? I mean, I know it's a little ways away, but
Yeah, I have a scriptwriter, of course. I hired a screenwriter, and she's doing a phenomenal job. Just set the second draft, so going over with some polishing. People ask me if you want to shoot this low budget or big budget this. So look, guys, I have options. If it's low budget, I want to direct it. I really do want to direct this because I believe in this story. It doesn't matter what your religion is or where you're from. You know, it's a human story. And people ask me, what if the studio comes and says, oh, we love the story, but you're just a small guy, you can't direct this. Well, we got to push it. We got to push with my agents and say, I am. Unless the studio is putting $20 million to do this project, guess what? You know, if the price is right, then but I got to be involved. There's no other way because it's a story. Don't get me wrong. I hate when people talk about me. Yes. It's all about me. I did it. It's mine. I don't like that because this is kind of, the idea was mine. It was born one day. I woke up and I said, this is what I want to do. And then there was some true stories when I kind of collaborate and I put it down on pen and paper. It's a teamwork. People always get so overprotected on their projects and talk about, it's mine. No, it's not yours. It's a teamwork. So the screenwriter wrote it, of course she's getting paid for it. I have lawyers, I have agents, and everybody is part of this. My actors you hire, they're part of it. So this is a family job. It's family, and I want to succeed with everybody. It's not about me. It's not about. It's never about just you. Sometimes, that kills me. It kills me. The selfishness kills me.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Roman, as we're heading out, can you tell everybody where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. So Roman Mitichyan. Also, Instagram is Hollywood Roman, and Twitter is just RR Mitichyan, and Facebook is Roman Mitichyan.
Nice.
And just Google me, I guess. If you Google it, it'll pop up. Should pop up.
There you go. Before I let you go, Roman, is there anything that we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about?
Peace to the world at this point. I'm big in also a lot of political issues. We had a revolution about a year ago in Armenia. We had a corrupt government. Now we have a new prime minister who is doing a tremendous job. And in 1 year, you should see what things are changing. And you look back for 30 years, they've been sucking up people's blood. It kind of kills you. It's like, oh, okay. The humans are different. Humans are evil. Some are really bad. So now what's going on in the world, I really don't like it. Every day that bugs me a lot. A lot of people say, what do you do about it? I said, we all have to. If you say, what are you going to do? Or what am I going to do? And we all just, we live our lives. And what makes you different? What makes you good? My point is good messages and help each other as much as we can. We want to put out there in social media or whatever you want to say, who is good, who is bad. It's not about that. All I want peace. We don't want to see kids crying over bread. This is 2020. It's ridiculous. And the world has so much money with a lot of billionaires and money and this. I know some people do good, some do, but the next thing you go, these third world countries, you see really rich people and you see super poor people. That kills me. So forget about that for a second. But we don't want war. So I really want peace. Number one, peace to the world, because this really affects everyone. If you think there's a small war somewhere in the world, you think that doesn't affect you in the United States or anywhere in the world, you are wrong. You are wrong. So open your eyes, be part of it, and try to help as much as you can. That's my message.
I think that is a great message to go out on. Thank you so much for that, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, Roman, thank you so much for your time, man. Thank you for hanging out and let us get to know you a little bit better on Fascination Street, man. It was really fun talking to you.
Thank you so much. God bless. And we'll see you guys someday, somewhere.
Yeah, invite all your friends to go see Roman's movie and go, hey,
Yep.
There he is.
Thank you. Thanks for all the support, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Roman. And if you're ever super bored and you're just hanging out with Serge, tell him to come on my show.
Oh, sounds good. I'll mention that. Actually, I'm going to see him. He was in Armenia. I'm going to see him sometime next week, I think. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll mention
fantastic.
that.
Well, you have my number.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Roman.
Thank you,
Hey,
buddy.
safe travels. And again, it was great talking to you.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is an iTunes review for Fascination Street Podcast. This one might be my favorite, and you're about to find out why. This one is from Backyard Mystic. It says, Fascination Street rocks. Oh, Micah and Jimmy, you are just such a joy to listen to. Keep this going, please. Big love. If you've listened to any of my episodes, you might be confused. And I was too the first time I saw this review. But it turns out that Backyard Mystic really loves a different podcast. And that podcast is called Fascination Street with Micah and Jimmy. It's based out of the UK, and it's wildly different than mine. But apparently, Backyard Mystic loves it. So thanks, Backyard Mystic. I hope you found what you were looking for in the right place. But thanks for stopping by mine. That was a 5-star iTunes review for Fascination Street Podcast. Rate and review Fascination Street Podcast on iTunes, and maybe next week I'll read your review. As always, thanks for listening, Streetwalkers. And don't forget, follow the show on Twitter at FascinationSTPD, on Instagram at Fascination Street Pod. Follow the podcast page on Facebook at Fascination Street Podcast. And of course, you can always email me at FascinationStreetPod@gmail.com. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and rate us on iTunes. For the next 3 months, everybody who rates and reviews the show and sends a screenshot to FascinationStreetPod@gmail.com will get a free surprise gift mailed to them. Every single one of you. So do it. Thanks, Streetwalkers. Opening music is the song Magnolia from the 2014 album Intransigence, used with permission from Douglas Miles Clark. Closing music is Apollo from the 2001 album Into the Known by the band Sapphire. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting to know a little bit about our guest. We'll see you next time on Fascination Street.